What's up YouTube, it's Gootmoon. Have a new video here, rather a new idea for video. Figured I'd try and talk about just like things I'm thinking about on the day. I don't really know how else to explain it. I'm like weirdly nervous to record this video for some reason. I guess I don't broadcast very well, but I just wanted to talk about how I think about ranking up and like what I think about ranking up really in Rocket League. I have been playing the game since 2015 or 2016 when it released on Xbox. We'll go with that. I have been like a relatively decent player. When I picked up the game, I grinded a lot. I got to Rising Star or whatever it is all the way back in the day, like the first season I played, which obviously wasn't top rank or anything, but I was putting in the hours back in 2016. So I just really kind of wanted to talk about how I feel about ranking up as it's gone through the years and like my mindset now. I think like back in the day when I was really grinding, we'll skip past, early stages of Rocket League. I feel like we've all been through that, right? But getting to like 2019, 2020, 2021, that for me was when I was probably the best player I've been in comparison to the player base. You know what I mean? I am a peak 2.1k, 2100 MMR player. That is my absolute peak. And during that time, I feel like I was always just focused on getting better. I never really worried about what rank I was or what my MMR said. It just kind of happened. That comes with like a lot of grinding and really just focusing on the game. Like you just have to put in so many hours to get a rank up. You have to put so much time into working towards your improvement goals, right? So it really is a grind. Like I feel like ranking up is so much to do about commitment and how you think about the game and less to do about your actual skill level a lot of the time. And I can kind of explain that because if any of you watched my videos, you know I'm not the most mechanical person in the world, right? I'm not out here hitting triple flip resets or hell, even double flip resets all the time. I'm not hitting musty flicks. I am an efficient player. I play fast, probably play too aggressive, but I know who I am, right? Like I am not the person that's just gonna constantly slow the ball down and be hyper mechanical. I think a lot of the time ranking up in Rocket League comes down to just really understanding what you want to accomplish. I think it's super relevant as of right now because I got SSL back in season 2, and that started a span for me where I got SSL in 3 seasons. I was like season 2, season 3, season 5 because I just wasn't playing the game that much. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I just wasn't, grinding. I was definitely good enough. I just wasn't dedicating the time necessary, and I wasn't so good that I could just hop on for 100 games a season and get it. But now, as I've gotten older, it's now, the prime year of 2025, and I am an old man, that I finally achieved SSL again. And granted, it was last day of the season, so take that with a grain of salt, but it's still awesome to actually be able to achieve that again. And I feel like a lot of that was achieved because I just figured out how to ignore the noise. I think people always are so focused on getting the perception of talent achieved by their peers. Like you want to be known as a good player by people you don't even know. Just because it's like if you're not doing the most mechanical thing and you're not doing this and that, then all of a sudden you're not really good at the game, like how you want to be good at the game. And even like your self-defined definition of being good at the game, you have all this content online that says like, hey, if you're good at the game, you can do this and you can do that, etc., etc. I feel like ranking up is really more to do about your mental picture and like your definition of success in the games you're playing. And I think striving towards improvement is something that always is going to get you where you want to go, not even more quickly, but in a way that you can be more satisfied with. Because I think half the problem is you subscribe to this general idea that like, this is how I get better and this is how people say I need to get better. And you probably see all the online coaching and stuff that's like you have to do this to get better, but really you can define your own path towards improvement. And that's really hard for a lot of people, especially me, because it's just so ambiguous, right? I think there's a lot of roads to travel down when you're trying to rank up if you're taking it seriously, but it's so easy to get sucked into watching a training guide and being like, this is how they improve, so this is how I'm going to improve. And it works for a lot of people, but it also doesn't. And it can also kill your motivation to even play the game. I know right now it's kind of just trendy to hate on Rocket League. Like, Rematch came out, Rematch is a lot of fun, and Epic is not great. But I think at the root of the game itself, it is still a great game. And just because it lacks a loving parent, we'll say, doesn't mean the game doesn't still have good qualities and things that can drive you forward into enjoying it. But when you try to define yourself in that narrative of this is how I need to get better and this is what good players look like, that's where you can really get bogged down. And so I guess really the meat and potatoes of it is, for me, is like, if you want to rank up in this game and you want to like become more talented or highly touted player, follow a path that brings you the most joy. It's not a situation where anything you do in ranked is going to define who you are as a player or as a person. Regardless of any opinion you encounter, no matter how good or how bad it is, it doesn't change the narrative, right? It's still, what do you want to accomplish? And so if you focus on what brings you joy in the game and what parts of the game really drive you forward and keep you motivated to play, that's the key. I think getting to a point where you can recognize that rank in this game is essentially a time commitment and how much you're willing to put in, how much you're willing to learn. Focusing on your own goals is always going to be the best way to bring you forward and teach you how to play the game in your own particular way at a high level. So I think, honestly, do what you think you enjoy the most playing this game and do it consistently, and really navigate away from the prescription of, if you're not doing it this way, you're doing it wrong. Don't subscribe to the fucking hate farming that happens in ranked, where basically everyone is not able to take a joke and is super serious. It just, none of it matters. And so playing the game how you feel like you find the most enjoyment is always going to be the best way to really grow, in my opinion. And then if you subscribe to wanting to learn things, then, you know, get into some content creators videos and learn how they do things and try to incorporate it, but never lose sight of what brings you the most joy when you play, because that's what you have to hang on to as you climb through ranks and really become the player that you want to be. All right, I don't really know what else to say, so I guess that's it for now, and I'll come out with more of these random thought videos. I think I'm gonna start a series of some kind and kind of just go over whatever, not even just Rocket League stuff, just anything, kind of like a video diary, I guess. All right, well, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.